What is going on, everybody? Been a diehard Pistons fan since '03 and starting to get cautiously optimistic about this Pistons team. Last night, the Pistons fell to the Chicago Bulls, and that brought them to a record of 7-9 on the season. Just hanging out online, joining a few spaces on Twitter, reading through comments and things like that, I felt like the Pistons fan base as a whole was a little bit too low vibrations, all things considered, that the Pistons are standing at 7-9, a record that I would consider to be reasonably good, all things considered, and where we were last year and what the expectations were this year. So I wanted to make a video today a bit more positive, especially as we're coming up on Thanksgiving, and just go through and list one thing in particular from every player in the rotation that I have been thankful for that they have provided for this team so far this season. So we'll get straight into it. The first player that I am thankful for and something they brought to the table is going to be Cade Cunningham. And the thing that I am most thankful for from Cade is something that has kind of taken me by surprise and something I did not expect from him this year. And that is his defense and shot blocking ability. As of today, Cade is leading the league in clutch blocks, and that's not surprising at all, as he had a game-sealing block against the Hawks and another block against the Rockets that was very timely, although we were not able to convert that one into a win. And all in all, I have been more impressed with Cade's ability on the defensive end this season than anything he has done on the offensive end, and that is just because I already knew what Cade could do offensively. He has taken steps on that end of the floor, but the defense is what I am particularly thankful for from Cade so far. The second player is going to be Jaden Ivey, and what I am most thankful for from Jaden Ivey is his shooting ability. His three-point percentage is not up as much as you would think if you've been watching the games. It's still hovering around 35%. But Jaden Ivey has been looking more confident as a shooter, and that shooting has helped us space the floor in immense ways and has allowed him to play off Cade Cunningham the best that he has so far in his career. I could say a million good things about Jaden Ivey. I could say that I was thankful for his ability to get to the paint, draw fouls, the intensity that he is showing on defense, but all in all, I think that what I'm most thankful for is the fact that his shot has been falling at a good clip, a reasonably good clip anyhow, and that makes teams need to guard him out there, which has opened up the floor for him and everybody else. So the third player is going to be Tim Hardaway Jr., and what I am most thankful for with Tim Hardaway Jr. is his resiliency. The fact that he is already back playing after the head injury that he suffered just a couple games ago is nothing short of a blessing and goes to show you how hard-headed he is, no pun intended. I was really worried that Tim Hardaway Jr. was going to be down for a long time, and he's already back and playing. I think that Tim Hardaway Jr. brings so many things to this team that a lot of people did not expect or assume that he wouldn't during the offseason when we acquired him, and I would bring up his shooting, but that is just so obvious. So the number one thing that I'm most thankful for with Tim Hardaway is going to be his resiliency. So moving on here to Tobias Harris, what I am most thankful for with Tobias Harris is just his steadiness. I know Tobias hasn't had exactly a great year shooting the three ball. It has come around a little bit. His scoring is a little bit down compared to where it was last year as far as points per game, field goal percentage, things like that. But the thing about Tobias is he is a rock for this team. Tobias, every single night, for the most part, is going to get you at least a dozen points. He's not going to throw away too many possessions. You know what you're going to expect, and you know what you're going to get out of Tobias on a night-to-night basis. And I really think that consistency and steadiness is something that I appreciate and the team appreciates as well. So the next player we're moving on to is Jaylen Duren. And what I am most thankful for Jaylen Duren so far this year is his vertical spacing. This is nothing new with Jalen Duren, but when he is on the floor, being a lob target for Cade is something that changes the whole entire offensive scheme for the Pistons, and he does it as well as anybody. His field goal percentage is something ridiculous right now. It was like 84% before last night. I think it went down a little bit considering he was 7 of 13 last night, but nevertheless, his vertical spacing and his ability to score inside the restricted area is really top notch. So moving on, the next player that I have some things to be thankful for, at least one thing in particular, is going to be Malik Beasley. Now, the reason why I say things with Malik Beasley is because for this one, I couldn't settle on one thing because he has just been so great over the past couple weeks, especially. And I want to point out his defensive intensity. I love that he brings energy on that end. He's always clapping, getting in his stance, showing his hands, moving with his man on the ball. And that's just something that is absolutely rubbed off on the rest of the team as well. And I think he has really spearheaded some of the team's defensive intensity, and his vibe is something that's been infectious. And the obvious one, again, is his shooting. He has hit like 4 threes in 5 of the 6 last games and is super consistent. He's going to get you a couple 3-pointers every single night. And lately, they seem like they've been coming at the best time possible when we really need them. So couldn't settle on one thing for Beasley because he has been that good, especially lately. So the next player is going to be Beef Stew, and the number one thing I am thankful for Stew is his ability to offensive rebound. I forgot how good of an offensive rebounder he was because he spent so much time last year playing on the perimeter, shooting 3-pointers, which is something that he was asked to do by Monty Williams as he was starting at the power forward spot. But now that he has gone to a bench center role, he's really been able to shine by being able to be in the paint more often on the offensive end, which has led to a lot of really important offensive rebounds for this season. And it'd be a shame to not point out just his ability to play defense with his motor has been crucial as well. So moving on, next player is Ron Holland. The number one thing that I'm thankful for with Ron Holland is just his defensive energy. If you guys have watched a single Pistons game all year long, I'm sure you picked up on the fact that Ron Holland has a super high motor defensively. He has created a lot of easy fast break points for the Pistons by picking off passes, pickpocketing the opposing ball handler, ripping it right off of them. You name it. On the defensive end, Ron Holland is always on 100, and I am very thankful for that. So moving on, the next player is Simone Fontecchio. Simone, he hasn't had a great start to the year. That's no secret. I think he is still kind of coming back a little bit and shaking off some rust from that surgery. If you guys have watched my channel, you know I'm probably the biggest Simone Fontecchio fan on the face of the earth. But the one thing that I'm really thankful for is that he has not cost us very many possessions at all, despite his struggles. I've talked about it even before the season started. Simone Fontecchio is a player who will hardly ever hurt you on the basketball floor, even when his shot is falling. He's not going to take shots that he can't hit. He's not going to take ill-advised shots or cause issues in the offense because he's always willing to make the right basketball play, the one more pass. He's always doing the right things and making the right decisions on both ends of the floor, even when the results are not going as you would hope for him and the production is not where you would hope. He really doesn't cause issues, take bad shots, get too far out of line defensively or anything like that. So really do appreciate that. And I'm totally a believer in the fact that I think that he will turn it up a notch and probably have a moment for this team this season. So the last player I want to say I'm thankful for and something to point out is going to be Marcus Sasser. And for Marcus Sasser, I'm just thankful for the fact that he stayed ready. I know that it can't be easy for someone like Marcus Sasser, who was in the rotation last year, to start this year by getting a lot of coaches' decision DNPs, not getting into games, hardly any minutes or playing time. And once Jaden Ivey goes down for a game, he steps up, he's ready to play, and he is playing as good as you possibly could ask for him in that situation. Of course, the shot that he hit against the Bucks was big time. It would have been great if we could have got a win there, but that was one of the biggest shots of the year, and that just really kind of goes to show you that Marcus Sasser stayed ready through the time that he was not really getting into the game, and I think that shows a lot for a player. So yeah, I just thought this would be fun to do because despite the loss last night, I still am very content with where the Pistons are at 7-9. And I think that this was a very easy list to make because everybody on this roster has shown positive flashes in one area or another this year. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch up with you soon.